Welcome back. Now we're going to be talking about the NLNG Prize for Science. Well, we all know that NLNG...
Nigeria Prize for Science, sponsored by Nigeria LNG.
Okay. My bad. The Nigeria Prize for Science, sponsored by NLNG. We all know that they also sponsor a prize for literature, and the prizes are aimed at bringing Nigerian scientists and authors to public attention and celebrating excellence in scientific breakthroughs and literary accomplishments in the nation. We have in the studio with us today, as usual when LNG visits us, Dr. Kudo Eresia Eke, who's General Manager, External Resources. Good morning.
Thank you.
And thank you very much.
For having me here.
And then we have the Chairman of the Advisory Board for Science, Professor Emeritus Akpoveta Susu. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Yeah. What business does Nigeria LNG have in sponsoring the Prize for Science?
What business does Nigeria LNG have in sponsoring the Nigeria Prize for Science? Mm-hmm. As you already said, we sponsor two major prizes that are the biggest of their type in Africa. The Nigeria Prize for Science.
In Africa, no less.
Yes. When we do things, we try to do them big and do them well. So $100,000 is the prize for science. So we roll this out every year. But what business does Nigeria LNG have to do with this? Our reason for being, our raison d'etre, as they say in Paris, is to help to build a better Nigeria. So we kind of identify those things that will support the country, that will help to build a better Nigeria. And we believe that any country or institution that is ready for growth and development in today's world must take science seriously. Of course, with all its impact on technology and all of that. So to try to excite that, we then instituted the Nigeria Prize for Science. So it's really for the purpose of helping to build a better Nigeria. But don't forget also that we are a technology-based company. Nigeria LNG is basically a technology-based company.
Indeed. Yeah. But the Prize for Science was suspended for a while. Why that suspension? And what has happened to cause you to reinstate it?
No, it wasn't suspended as such. We went through a period of rejuvenation because essentially, not because the prize was in abeyance, but because we found that we were not getting the kind of entries that would win the prize. Because obviously, if you're going to win such a prize, it has to be a work of excellence. So there was a little bit of rejigging in terms of the publicity strategy, in terms of reaching out to the proper groups and being more specific about what research area should be of concern for a particular year. So this year, for instance, we are going to be looking at malaria. Malaria is a huge killer in the world, but malaria kills more people in Nigeria than in any country in the world. Malaria murders about 300,000 people every year. So obviously this is a huge Nigerian problem. And that's why this year's prize is focused on. But Professor will speak a little bit more.
I was going to ask you why, because this sounded like the same theme you had for 2016. So let me bring it to the Prof. The entries for 2016 didn't really produce a winner. So is that why it was extended to this year, and why?
Well, we had entries, but they were not sufficiently large, and the quality wasn't very good. So malaria to us is so important, especially in Nigeria. As you said, it kills more than 300 people every year.
300,000.
300,000 people every year. So we then decided to shift it for another year and then be more aggressive in our publicity, so that, because the thing is now open to all scientists all over the world. So we have to reach everywhere where malaria research is being done. We didn't quite succeed with that in the first
Okay.
In 2016. So that's what we've done now.
Do you think by the time we're done, it will be of any significance to the country? Because, I mean, since 2012, you've had just 6 winners for this particular prize. I mean, the science prize, 6 winners since 2012. Do you think it's of any significance?
Since 2004.
Since it was suspended in 2012.
No, since
No.
2004.
Recorded 6 winners from inception
inception.
till the suspension in 2012. So this is now another one coming up. Do you think it's of any significance to the country?
It is, because now the orientation is different. Initially, the orientation was all science. For example, if you have done something in nuclear physics, you can apply. If you've done something in chemical engineering, you can apply. Now it's theme-based. We are looking at Nigeria's problems. For example, NLNG. For example, if you look at the patient-doctor ratio, it's so large. Can a team be weaved around that? You know, we are looking at problems of significance to the country, and then getting winners. By doing that, we draw attention to those specific problems. But more than that, if, say, somebody in China wins this prize, there can be mutual interaction with Nigerian scientists, visits, and so on, so that the problem can be solved.
Okay. Yeah. So essentially, what Prof is saying, you know, I'm saying the instance he gave about the possibility of someone from China winning the prize, because the prize is open. Now, we're not interested whether the person that won the prize is from Australia or is from Germany.
Botswana.
What's important is there is a Nigerian problem. So we're looking for solutions for that Nigerian problem.
Okay.
Now, if the solution comes from Mars, so be it.
You will take it.
But it's a solution that will apply to our country for its betterment.
Okay. Yeah. Now, you've had 6 winners since the inception of this project. Now, how much have the works of those 6 winners affected our situation in Nigeria?
Very good. I think Professor Susu is best to speak because he was the first winner of the Nigeria Prize for Science. Yes. So, Prof.
Well, as I said, the emphasis then was on specific research problems that people are just doing. Okay. Not looking at, you know, in the universities we look at problems of water, of environment, of this and that. But the problems of society are not really compartmentalized into disciplines. They are interdisciplinary. So we did work on pipelines. And we did something that was quite unique, on pipelines. And we won the prize. But nothing has happened with that. Of course, pipeline is of relevance to the movement, transportation of petroleum and petroleum products in the country. But nothing has happened with that because there are all kinds of political implications.